We are caring for our kids today. We are talking about dry winter skin, and it's not all that cold out there, but the weather is going to get pretty gross tomorrow. Plenty of wind, and of course it's going to be January in a day. So winter, that applies. Joining me from Children's Hospital is Dr. Heather Radu. So this is a problem for adults, of course.
Yes.
I'm currently standing here listening to my dry hands.
Yes.
But little kids, this is a problem for. What do you see with little kids?
Yeah, it tends to be even more of a problem for little kids because their skin tends to be thinner, more delicate, more sensitive. So we see a lot of irritation in the winter months with them.
Now, that makes me think, does that apply to the elderly as well? Because their skin's somewhat thin as well?
Absolutely, it can.
So little ones and the elderly more so than the rest of us in the middle there. So what do you do for it in a little kid then?
So there are several things. One, I recommend baths and short baths. So typically less than 10 minutes. The longer they're in the bath, the more it can affect their skin and cause more drying, actually. It sounds counterintuitive, but actually it's the way that works. Lukewarm temperature for the baths as well. When you do warmer, hotter temperatures, that tends to cause the skin to be more sensitive where they're itching and scratching at it more. So that's another important thing.
Now in the bath, I've always heard mixed reviews about whether you should do bath bubbles or not, because some soaps can be very drying. So
yes.
Any recommendations on that? Yes or no to a bubble bath?
So I say no to the bubble baths.
Bummer.
Typically. Yes. And a couple of reasons for that. One is that they tend to take a longer bath. So we like those baths less than 10 minutes. But the other piece is that a lot of times they have detergents and chemicals in them that actually dry the skin or irritate the skin.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Any specific ointments we should use?
So I am a big proponent of ointments versus lotions. Ointments tend to have less irritating chemicals in them, and I use Vaseline. Vaseline is nice, it holds the moisture in, works great. So anything that's an ointment and will work like that is fabulous. I prefer to stay away from the lotions. If you don't like the ointment and find it's too oily, a cream instead of a lotion tends to be better.
Okay, and then at what point do we really need to call the doctor if your little one's scratching or itching? When do you know that it's time to actually take that next step and call doctor?
So if you're doing all of these that we've recommended and they're still having really persistent dry skin, itching at it a lot, bleeding, cracked skin, call your pediatrician, and there's more that can be done then.
All right, doctor, thank you so much. Very helpful.
Absolutely.
Heading into January. And you know what, folks, if you've got any questions about your child's health you'd like answered, email anchor Lori Tucker at ltucker@wate.com, and then tune into Channel 6 every Thursday at 4 to see if we answer your question right here on air.